Alrighty, welcome back everybody to another video. So today's topic is going to be on the four cycles of crypto. I feel like I've been watching a lot of videos about it, and a lot of people call it the halving and stuff. And I mean, it is what it is, but a lot of people don't go in depth into it. So this is going to be pretty much more of a second level of the depth of what you can reach within those crypto cycles, and not just pretty much because a lot of people say what it is, but they don't kind of like explain the reason for it and why it's doing it. And so this is just gonna kind of cover it a little bit more in depth. But this is gonna be a tutorial on how to start investing and actually start buying coins and stuff. You kind of already have to know what to do there. This is pretty much just gonna be a cycle video. But I'm just gonna cover this really quick for the people, because I mean, it's pretty simple. You don't gotta watch a whole 30-minute video telling you how to like get into crypto. Pretty much only thing you're gonna need is a hot wallet. This is where, well, firstly, you're gonna want a crypto exchange. You can use Coinbase. I don't really trust Binance as much. Coinbase fees are fairly expensive, but they are trustworthy, right? I would rather pay like a few extra more dollars knowing that you actually get your stuff. And then you're gonna want a hot wallet. I know you can transfer. You can usually, like, if you get a cold wallet, which is a crypto wallet that's offline, so you can't get hacked. It's usually like this little USB looking thing. A lot of people, actually, let me pull it up real quick. A lot of people don't know about it, and that's why most people get scammed. So it's this, right? So you're gonna get one of these. Doesn't really matter, right? You're gonna get you don't need to get the big one. You can get the smallest one, right? This is what it looks like, pretty much. This is kind of what it looks like, right? So you're gonna want to buy one of these ledgers. Pretty sure it's called like Ledger X or something. Yeah, Ledger Nano X, or this one, right? So it really depends on, they both work the same. I know this one can't hold as much, I'm pretty sure, where this one, this one, yeah, this one holds a lot bigger amount, I'm pretty sure. But it's pretty much just up to you, right? But moving on from that, so pretty much you're gonna want one of these. You're gonna want a hot wallet. This is where you're gonna, I don't know, you can use, as you can see over here, actually, you can use Phantom. Remember, I got both. Phantom is pretty much more Solana, and MetaMask is more usually, I would say, Ethereum, so on and so on. I barely use these, because pretty much all you can do, you can just have a crypto exchange. Just have a crypto exchange, buy it from there, put the wallet address in your cold wallet, and then it literally just sends it directly there. And I'm pretty sure if you have a cold wallet set up like Ledger, you can actually buy the coins on there itself, but you still need a crypto exchange. But this is just get it. You don't need a like 20-minute video tutorial on how to do it. You can go and watch something on like how to buy it, but it's pretty straightforward. Like, buy it, you get the address, you put the address in, so on, right? But this is gonna be the important part. Just open up TradingView. Oh my days. Reload it real quick. There we go. Okay, so let's just jump into, we'll do it like this. Alrighty, so having a look at, I'm just gonna do a quick coverage on the cycles. So usually you get 4 cycles cycles, 3 years of bulls and 1 year of bears. So pretty much you get 3 years of uptrend. I'm pretty sure it's more like 2 years and like maybe half, or like 2 years and like 3/4, maybe around about there. But it's basically 3 years of bulls and 1 year of bears, right? So it'll look something like this, right? So you have your like little retracements during those years, and then all of a sudden it'll just do this, you know, and then 3 years of your bears again, and then you'll have those 3 years of bears again, and then that 1 year just chopping it up, right? But I've seen a lot of influencers or like content creators on just purely just doing crypto, and they explain it as, so they'll use this tool and they'll explain it as percentage based, but they forget to take into account, right, if let's say this coin is market value, right, currently $100, right? If that increases with, let's say it increased 50%, or actually let's do 75% in that year, right? Now you have a good coin, right? But when that same coin drops, I'm pretty sure the average is usually like around 70%. 70% drop, that coin will be worth $30 a coin, right? But what people fail to get, like, I'll show you this, right? When the coin was Bitcoin, when it was right around the start, so let's do this one, yeah, this big up, right? It was worth 71 billion market cap, whatever. And let's take it to that very high, right? You can see it grew 1,000%. Over 1,000, almost 2,000%, right? And then the big drop came over here, and it was 76%, right? But if you look, when the coin was smaller, when the market cap value was less, the move was smaller, but more percentage, because the coin was little value, right? And if you look at the drop, right, 80%. So how can you expect, like, look at this now, right? From the very top, so let's say this was 2022. Yeah, because that was the bear cycle year. So 2023 it started again, right? Let's do from January, right? Let's just say the 23rd of January you bought in, so on, so on, so on. This whole wave, right? This whole move, it's way bigger than this, right? But because the market cap value was exponentially way higher, like it's in the trillions, not in the billions, right? The percentage increase is 689%, right? Now this is where everybody has to like really write this down or listen very carefully, because next year is the bear run. So people, like most influencers, saying, oh, it's going to drop 70%, right? But as you can see in the past, this drop was around 80%, right? This drop was around 70%. So how can you expect something that dropped 70%? That's what I'm saying. You can't use the percentage, right? You got to use time based. So you're gonna say, let's say it starts increasing 20th of February after a break of structure or whatever. That's going to be your buying and then holding for those 3 years until you see, let's say October the 27th, it starts decreasing with a weekly break of structure to the downside, right? It's going to be more time-based and actually algorithm-based rather than, well, I mean, a lot of people explain it as percentage based that I've seen. There is probably someone or a lot of people, you know, using like support and resistance, you know, patterns, trends, whatever, and it works. But if you, I'm trying to like get the very bottom and the very top of it, right? And that's what I'm going to show like later on in the video. But moving on, you can see that it'll probably increase. Let's just say it increases up to here, right? And we can see that the drop around here, so the big increase, that first initial big increase of Bitcoin, and then that drop was around 84%. And then coming into this drop, it was around 75%, right? So that's like, I'm pretty sure it was like an 8% drop. So let's say wherever it goes up, let's say it goes up to you, right? You can probably expect maybe, what's that, was 74. So yeah, go down 1, 2, 3, maybe even 67%, right? And then the year after that, 50%. Year after that, 40%. So people that are recommending percentage based, I would highly suggest not to watch them, right? Because yes, you're probably gonna get a good average, you know, but we're trying to catch the bottom, right? Or like nearly, we're trying to catch the reversal of it, not percentage based. Because let's say it does, right, drop 70%. Or let's say it just drops 65%, right? And you're waiting for 70%. Let's say that the little, you know, how it keeps decreasing with market cap value increasing, which, I mean, it's true. It literally just shows it right here. Let's say I'm predicting 65% drop, and then I'm going to wait for a weekly break of structure to the upside. But other people are going to be expecting a 70% drop, right? And then what's going to happen? We're going to reverse, let's say, and then they're going to be like, oh my days, I should have bought sooner, right? And then they'll probably start buying in at around 55% on that initial increase, right? Because when crypto drops, it drops, and when it goes up, right? So this is just what I'm saying. I'm just going to I'm probably, honestly, this video, a lot of people don't teach this. So for the people that do end up watching this, and for the people that don't end up watching this, I'm probably going to delete this video. I don't care how good it does or how bad it does, right? If it does good, that's good. You guys got the info, right? But I'm probably going to end up deleting this video. 2027, 1st of January. It's going to be gone. So for the whole bear run next year, everybody's can get their own capital, save it up a bit, and they can use this video as guidance. But I'm telling you, 1st of January, New Year's, 2028, what's it, 2025? No, 2027, yeah. So 2026, bear run, 2027 is going to start increasing again. 1st of January, I'm deleting this video. Don't care how good it did. But let's move on to the actual good source. So the whole strat isn't going to be percentage based. Time based. Slash base. Right. So we covered that it isn't going to be percentage based. Yes, it is a good guideline that you can use, but time based and algorithmic based, because I mean, crypto's rigged. I don't care what anyone says, crypto's rigged. If you don't know the pattern, or if you don't know the algo, or, you know, even if you don't even know the percentage based stuff aligned with that yearly cycles, you're cooked, right? It's rigged. You just gotta learn how to see the rig, you know? And that's what we're gonna cover, right? So, as you can see, first bull run was, we're not gonna cover this, we're gonna cover the first actual drop. So around 2019, pretty sure was the drop. So it was, because this was just more accumulation, so we're going to cover the first 3 years. So here was the drop during 2022. So 2022, I'm just going to do this 022 drop. So all the 3 years before then was obviously increased, right? And I mean, as we can see. And then 2023, 025, 024, 025. Right. So 022 was the initial drop, as we can see over here. Started around 2021-ish. And then 022 was the drop, so we're actually gonna make this red. And then we're gonna make this rest of it green. Just to have the initial. So if this is the 4-year cycle, we're gonna count down 3 years, right? So it's what? Where is it? Yeah. So it will be 20. So it'll be 019. Oh, 019 was a drop, so it'll be 019, 20, 020, and then 021. Right. So this would be the increases then before this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then what are we obviously going to expect during 2026? Man, what can we obviously expect during 026? So 2026, obviously a bearish drop, right? So using past like data features, we can, you know, kind of get just a little grasp on what to expect next year. And I mean, as we can see, 2019, right, look, 2019, January 1st, started increasing. And then I can bet you if we drop down to the month, where's 2019? Over here, right? So 01 January, right? 2019, we got this covered, right? Green. Now this, look at this. May, it goes up. June, July, August. Right, keep that in mind. June, July, August. It's usually a little reversal during that 3-year bull period, right? But we're not going to cover this here. We'll cover it later on a bit. So moving on, you can see 019, 2020. So 019 went up, 20 went up, 21 went up, and then 2022 it dumps. 2022 dumps. 23 green, right? 24, 25. So we're gonna expect to continue going up in 2025, and then 2026 it's gonna drop, right? And then so every 4th year after those 3 years bulls is gonna be a bearish drop. Now we're gonna get into the time base on how it actually, what you would be looking for, right? So let's say, when was that drop again? All right, okay. So 2022 was the bearish year, right? This is where we're gonna start adding back to our positions. So 2023. 2023. Start buying back our positions, right? And then it'll keep increasing up until 2024, 2025. and then 2026, of course. 2026. Alrighty. So now it's to go into more detail on actually how to use the strategy, and I've been using this for like the past maybe year now, and like I've back tested like every cryptocurrency I've like known that I've like, I mean, we'll even cover XRP, bro. Even with the case, you know, you would expect to just stagnate. I was following the cycles. Now, if something has such bad news, right, like a lawsuit, and it still follows the algorithm, you cannot tell me this is not rigged. Now, this is going to teach you how to get in and get out the most soon as possible, right? So if we look at, we're going to mark out 2022 when it initially dropped. January 1st, 2022. And then let's just do it up until current, you know, August, what's it, 17th. We'll just do it up to current month. So looking at 2022, we can see that it starts dropping. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. March, like, it usually starts around May, right? Look, May, June, July, and then it starts bouncing back up again in August to finish off the year. It does this all the time. I'm telling you right now, this, look, May, come on, May, June, July, right there, right? Little bounce back. What the hell? And then, oh yeah, starts at April as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, May, June, July. May, June, July, August starts bouncing back, right? So it's not a big drop. It is just I like to call it like a fake out, because a lot of people would sell there, right? Because they're like, oh, you know, the portfolio, you know, let's say you bought here, it's down like 20-30%. Or, you know, we don't really like using percentage base, but that little bit, yeah, okay, see, 30%. So, moving on anyway, we don't care about percentage base, we don't care what the, you know, if it's down. The only stuff we care about is if we're in those 3 years bull run, if we have the funds to keep funding it, and we don't want anything, we don't want to be buying within 2026 until 2027, or that bear run until the first year of the bull run. So, this is pretty off script, so I could be ranting about stuff that don't even like really matter, but just kind of like piece it along, you know. And if someone doesn't get it that watches you can just let me know and I'll try and make a better one. So coming in, we can see it starts dropping November. So the last bullish year before the drop, key date 1st November, right? Bearish year, you can see after November 1st, it goes up a little bit. We don't really care about that. We don't care about that, right? Drops all the way down that whole year of 2022. And then this is where it starts getting important, right? August 2022, and you're gonna mark out January, right? Gonna mark out January. So the start of the bull run here. Now this is what you're gonna wait for. One simple thing. If you don't know what a breaker structure is, and this is just someone that wants to like know the cycles, you can buy, literally put all your stuff back in 1st of January. You can literally just buy back everything 1st of January on that the first year of the bull run, right? But if you want to get confirmation, because what could happen during that first, it could go up a bit and then it could dump a bit lower and then it'll shoot up, right? So good confirmation is literally just to wait for a weekly, not daily, weekly break of structure, right? And then, so your position would be entering. We'll draw a little line. Your position would have been that weekly right over here. We buy back, right? So, do you keep like, now it's like the hot part, because a lot of people were saying like, when do you buy back, when do you keep buying? For that first year, you put as much money in as you can. You put as much money in weekly. Honestly, weekly, if you can like do more, like daily, if you can like set up something which you put in $25 a day or whatever, weekly, you're going to be putting in as much as you can, cut down on all spendings as much as you can for that three run. It doesn't matter where you buy weekly. Don't care if it's so high up or if it's down, buy weekly for that three run years, because I bet you, look at this, May, June, July, it starts accumulating, dropping a bit. That's a key zone. May, June, July is a key zone of where you want it to be buying, right? I'll mark it out. May up until August, you're gonna see a little bit of red. If you bought down here, you're not even gonna see red. You're gonna see red on the like daily, weekly, maybe monthly, but you're gonna see your green on the year, right? So from May up until August, that's when, so May, June, July, August, it's 4 months, 4-year cycles. It's kind of like, look at crypto as like a quarterly moving thing, right? Everything moves in quarters, in fours with crypto. So we'll mark these out in blue. Right, so now you have that down, so you just write everything down. Okay, now, you're gonna buy up every single week. Every single week you're gonna buy up until 2025, right? It's pretty simple. And then when are we gonna be getting out in 2025? 1st of November, before it starts dropping. So if you can mark out, you gotta mark out. We just mark out 3 November, right? This is when we are going to be getting out of, I'd sell like 60-70% of my bag. Keep all your Bitcoin, don't sell that. Everybody knows this. But the rest, be gone with it, right? And then you're gonna have that whole bearish year during January up until 2027. You're gonna wait for that break of structure after. Let's just draw a simple. So it's gonna look something like this. It's gonna start dumping and then just go down maybe till about like here, and then you're gonna start seeing this, and then as soon as you see this, that break of structure on the weekly, you buy everything back. Everything back, you buy it. You put as much money in. As soon as you see that break of structure, you put as much money in as you have, right? You can even do that little strategy I told you, like 1st of Jan on the, the whatever bullish year, the first bullish year, you can put 50% in and then 50% in on the break of structure, right? So then that means you could have like probably copped something around like, what's this? A day before. So you could have caught that one, right? And then instead of this one. So you can, have a decent amount in profit already. So you can go like 50-50 or like 25-75. So that's literally the basic mode strategy. Honestly, time-based, algorithm based. That's what I'm saying. Percentage. Later on, when Bitcoin is like 5.6 trillion market cap, percentage based is not gonna work anymore. People are gonna say like, it'll be like this, right? And then, let's say the market cap's like 5 trillion, right? It'll dump like this, right? Yes, it is 50%, but I bet you it will probably be something more like 20%. So I recommend everybody to write this down. 4-year cycles, right? Every 4th year is a bearish year. And then mark out all these timestamps. You know, you just watch back the video, something, whatever, so on. This is going to be really important. So this is just Bitcoin, right? The biggest one. I can literally show you. Let's do Ethereum, right? Even fair value gaps works on this, right? So much stuff works on this. That's what I'm saying. Oh yeah, and let me just cover this up real quick. Just to show you how rigged it is. Isn't it funny how that every bearish year, right? It's always a pullback into something. Oh, 2022, you know, whatever. Pullback into FEG, pullback into equilibrium, right? You can even search up on Google. Worst event that happened in 2022. I'm not reading all that. Right? No, don't call me a conspiracy guy. But I'm telling you, actually, hold on, let me try to find something real quick. It'll actually scare you how okay. So will actually scare you all worst events that impacted the Jace Nairo in 2022. All worst events, right? It's gonna pull this up real simple. Right? Floods, record heat, Nigerian floods. You know, actually, let me just say that could right. So all these bad stuff, right? Blah blah blah. Collapse of Terra Luna, so bankruptcy, crypto winter. Don't call me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm pretty sure that if you even look at right, hold on. 2019. It's just pretty scary, right? If you look at 2019, that big scary COVID. So 2021, 2020, when was the? Just looking for the bull run real quick. So 2018, yeah. And then how 2018 steps in, and then 2019 it increases. You know, it's just kind of like, man, if you look at all this stuff, you'll see it always underperforms when the worst stuff happens. On these bearish years, the most worst stuff happens. And the year before these bearish years, even it like starts. I know a lot of bad happens in the world, but it's just kind of a little freaky, right? But don't even worry about that. It's honestly, I think it's just BS to think about. But looking at Ethereum, it follows the same cycles. Although Ethereum has been kind of meh. But you can see 2022 goes down, 2023 increases up until 2025, right? If you look at the weekly, May, June, July, right? August starts bouncing back. So that little 4-month cycle isn't like a complete deal breaker. Like, it's not all, your thing is like in shambles, but you can literally see, it even follows the pattern here, like, 2019 goes up those 3 years, 2022 drops, goes up, 2025, then drops. And, every time it's a pullback into something. FEG, if you look at the monthly on this one, on this big drop, it's always something. Little FEG down here, liquidity, it's always something, right? You can even like look at XRP as an example of that lawsuit coming in on the 3 months, right? Even with a lawsuit, keep this in mind, even with something, usually in futures, if some meeting, some lawsuit, it either F's up the thing, or it just messes up the trading experience in total, right? Right, goes up, 2021, 2022, it dumps. 2023, 2025, I know this was when the lawsuit releases, but if you have a look at this, it goes up still. 2019, 2018, dumps. From 2019 up until 2022, it increases, not to the very peak of it, but it does increase, right? 2022 comes, the dump happens, 2023, increase happens right after the lawsuit. So even with the lawsuit, it still follows the algorithm or whatever rigged system they have. You can look at Solana, right? Same thing. Goes up, those 3 years, 2022, dumps, 2023 up until 2025 increases. So 2026, it's gonna dump, right? So come back to here. So every 4 years, it dumps. And I would highly suggest noting this down. Even if you have TradingView, just copying it. But if we're looking, so first, one November, get out on last bull year. 01 Jan of first bull year, dump 50%, wait, BOS on weekly, then dump the rest 50%. Buy as much weekly possible for entire 3-year cycle till Alrighty, so 1st November, get out of the, the last bull run. Of the last bull run year, you're going to sell everything except for Bitcoin. This is important, except for Bitcoin. 1st of January, you can buy 50%, or if you want to play it safer, you can wait for the weekly and then just buy 100%, or you can go 50-50, right? And then buy as much as you can weekly, as much as you can without it affecting you, or actually sacrifice a little bit of something, right? Cancel that Spotify subscription, cancel that PS subscription, whatever, right? Something you don't need. Cancel it if you don't need it. If you're not going to use it, cancel it, right? Then buy as much as you can weekly for that 3-year cycle up until October 15th, right? Of the last bull run cycle. After that, just hold it and sell November 1st. November 1st, you want to sell everything, 60%, except for Bitcoin, right? If you can maybe even sell like 70%, right? And that's just pretty much going to be the layup from 26, and then 26 going to drop, 27, 28, and then 20, oh jeez, and then 29. November 29, you are going to get out on the 1st of November. You're going to stop buying October 15th, 2029, 3 years, the last 3-year bull run cycle after 2026, right? It's not hard to understand. But this is just going to pretty much cover everything. Like I said, copy the stuff down, write it down. This video is getting deleted 1st of November, 2027, right? No matter how good it does, 2027 is getting deleted. So for the people that do watch this and the people that don't, that's too bad. Not many people are going to share this, right? Especially, I don't see a lot of people trading time-based with crypto. It's always bull flags, bear flags, whatever, whatnot. Sure, that stuff works. But this is going to give you way more help mentally because you're actually going to know there's a pattern behind everything. And you can't tell me there's not. I literally showed you, right, that 4-year cycle, blah, 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 halving. It is true, you can just go off that. But if you look into a bit deeper, you can see there's bigger news events, usually within that bear year or the last year before the bear year, right? Even with the lawsuits, it still works. A lawsuit or whatever XRP had should not make a thing follow the algorithm. That just proves my point that it is an algorithm, right? But yeah, just everybody write this down. 1st of November, it is getting deleted. But hope everybody learned something from the video. And if I didn't explain it too good, remember I'm still learning. Just tell me in the comments and I'll redo it, I'll make it better. Or if you don't understand something, I'll make a different video. But yeah, later.